The morning began quietly, too quietly for the house of Konstantin Larionov, a man known in the business world as the Iron One. He could predict risks, sense traps, avoid ambushes. For 20 years in construction and real estate, he had survived hostile takeovers, corrupt partners, disappearing millions, and betrayal from allies. But one danger he never imagined, that it could arrive in a cup of coffee served by his own wife. Not his first wife, his new one. Marina had entered his life 2 years earlier, beautiful, polished, charming, like someone carved directly from a glossy magazine cover. Konstantin, widowed 4 years before, had resisted the idea of remarrying. He told himself it was for his son, for the memory of his late wife, for the peace of his home. But Marina came gently, carefully, with warmth, attention, softness, or what seemed like softness. His 10-year-old son Kostya was quiet and observant, a boy who rarely spoke until he'd thought something through, which made his words that morning hit harder, like a scream in a silent room. Konstantin was in the living room, checking early emails before leaving for work. The house was peaceful. From the kitchen he heard the hiss of the coffee machine, the clink of porcelain, Marina's light steps. "Konstantin," she called sweetly, "I made you a surprise. Your favorite spiced coffee." He almost smiled. Almost, because at that moment, Kostya approached him, tugged on his sleeve, and whispered with trembling urgency, "Daddy, don't drink that coffee." Konstantin froze. "What?" he breathed. His son's eyes were wide, frightened in a way Konstantin had never seen. "Don't. New mom put something in it. I saw her." The sentence landed like a blow. He stared at his son, unable to process the meaning. "What do you mean? Are you sure?" Kostya nodded quickly, looking sick with fear. She stood with her back turned, but I saw her in the microwave reflection. She poured something from a gray bottle. She thought I was playing with my toy car, but I was watching. Konstantin felt his pulse spike. His throat tightened. At that moment, Marina entered the room with a bright smile and a tray. 2 cups, the blue one he always used, and a white one for her. "Here, darling," she said cheerfully. "Careful, it's hot." She placed the blue cup before him. The smell was strong, spiced, a little bitter, not quite her usual experiments. He felt the boy lean closer and whisper, "We can switch cups." His son's voice shook so much it nearly broke him, and Konstantin realized instantly, fully. He believed him. Absolutely. With a smooth, natural motion, as if simply rearranging the tray, he switched the 2 cups. Marina didn't notice. He looked at her, and for the first time, he saw something cold behind the smile, something reptilian, calculating, patient. "Let's drink together," he said. Her smile widened. "Of course." She took the first sip comfortably. Too comfortably. She lifted the cup again, but her hand trembled. A faint choke escaped her lips. Her face paled. What is this?" she rasped. "Marina?" He stood quickly. She tried to speak but coughed instead, folding over herself. The cup slipped from her hand and shattered on the floor. Kostya gasped and rushed back, terrified. "Daddy!" Marina clutched her throat, wheezing, sweating, shaking uncontrollably. "Call an ambulance," Konstantin ordered calmly, or as calmly as he could manage. The boy ran. Konstantin knelt beside Marina. His hands shook violently. A man who could negotiate $1,000,000 contracts without blinking was trembling like a leaf. She looked up at him, eyes wide, panicked, horrified. He leaned closer and said quietly, "What's happening to you is your own doing." Her eyes widened even more. 7 minutes later, paramedics arrived. It felt like 7 hours. They rushed her out, alive, but in critical condition. As the ambulance doors closed, Marina seemed to regain consciousness for a moment. She looked directly at him. It was not the look of a victim. It was the look of a trapped predator, realizing the cage had finally shut. When she was gone, Konstantin sat heavily on the couch. His legs felt weak. Kostya walked to him slowly. Carefully, he sat beside him and whispered, "Did I do the right thing?" Konstantin wrapped an arm around him. A strong, desperate embrace, as if anchoring himself to the only person he could trust in the world. You saved my life, son. The boy lowered his head. He didn't cry. He simply breathed, deep and uneven. I've seen things for a while, he said quietly. How she looked at your safe, at the office door, how she got angry when she thought no one saw. Konstantin stiffened. Why didn't you tell me earlier? The boy swallowed. You were happy, Dad. I didn't want to take that away. Those words pierced deeper than any knife. That evening, police arrived. The hospital had reported a probable poisoning. They asked for the coffee pot, the cups, the kitchen counter. Konstantin told them everything. The whisper, the reflection, the switch. We'll need to search the house, the senior detective said. Konstantin nodded. They searched. They found, in Marina's makeup drawer, a small gray bottle, its label scratched off. Inside, a fine powder. The analysis came back fast. A controlled poison, the forensic expert explained. Slow-acting, accurate dosage. The detective looked at Konstantin with sympathy that felt like knives. That's not the worst of it, another officer said. Her phone, the messages. He handed Konstantin a printed transcript. Konstantin read. His hands began to shake again. He trusts me. Perfect opportunity when we're alone. Once I have access to his documents, we're set. The lawyer told me exactly what he needs to sign. In a year, I'll be the richest widow in the city. The paper slipped from Konstantin's fingers and fell to the floor. He whispered, My God. His entire being, his pride, his instincts, his intelligence, felt shattered. How had he missed all of this? Marina was arrested 2 days later, right from the hospital. Her dosage had been calculated for a 95-kilogram man, not a 60-kilogram woman. She had been sick, but not dying. She screamed about sabotage, claimed innocence, accused Kostya of lying, but the evidence was overwhelming. The messages, the poison, her fingerprints on the bottle. A deleted search history. How to sign over assets. Non-detectable poisons. Delayed cardiac toxins. Her mask had fallen. There was no putting it back. The trial lasted 3 months. 3 long, public, humiliating months. Marina's lawyer tried everything. Emotional appeals, claims of mental health issues, accusations against Kostya, attempts to frame it as an accident. Nothing worked. Every witness, every expert, every report painted the same picture. She planned to kill him. She planned to inherit everything. She failed. During the sentencing, she lifted her head and glared at Konstantin, who sat beside his son. You ruined my life, she screamed. Konstantin looked at her with chilling calm. You tried to end mine. The judge announced the sentence. 14 years in a maximum security facility. Marina collapsed in her seat. Justice was served, but the wounds remained. Life slowly returned to normal. Slowly, like a wound healing from the inside outward. Kostya laughed more now. Konstantin breathed easier. The house felt clean, purified, like a storm had passed and taken all the poison with it. One quiet evening, as they sat in the kitchen drinking tea, the boy asked softly, Dad, what would have happened if I stayed quiet? Konstantin looked at him for a long moment before answering. Then I would have lost you and myself. You're the bravest person in this house. Kostya smiled shyly, and for the first time in many, many months, Konstantin felt true peace. Not the fragile illusion he once mistook for happiness, but real, grounded, unshakable peace. He looked at his son, and gratitude washed over him with such force that he almost laughed. All of this, the danger, the betrayal, the narrow escape, began with 6 whispered words. Daddy, don't drink that coffee! And because of those 6 words, he was alive.